Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're cracking open a seriously thrilling case file. We are looking into a legend that has literally haunted a remote community for generations. Yep, we're exploring the chilling story of the midnight secret of the Whispering Mansion. Just picture it, a dense, foreboding forest, and tucked away deep inside it, a mystery that's been unsolved for 2 whole centuries. Let's start piecing this giant puzzle together. Now ask yourself honestly, would you dare to enter a haunted mansion at midnight? I mean, it's super easy to say, oh, for sure, from the comfort of where you're sitting right now, but this isn't just your run-of-the-mill ghost story. This is a chilling local legend that keeps an entire village awake at night, just completely paralyzed by fear. We're going to examine exactly what makes this spot so deeply terrifying, and, well, what happens when someone actually decides to step inside. So let's kick off our investigation with Part 1, the 200-year-old legend of this deserted structure. 200 years. Just think about that for a second. This isn't just some creaky old house. We are talking about a deserted mansion standing all by itself in the middle of a dense, shadowy forest for 2 centuries. That's 200 years of brutal storms, total isolation, and decay. The atmosphere around this lore is incredibly heavy, almost suffocating, really. A structure standing for that long, completely abandoned by society, you just know it's bound to collect some very, very dark secrets. Let's move to the timeline and see how this all builds. 200 years ago, the mansion goes up. Simple enough, right? But the true horror drops right in the middle of that timeline. Exactly 100 years ago, a young girl vanished without a single trace from this exact spot. Which brings us right up to the present day, where a young investigator named Arav steps into the picture. This timeline essentially maps out the exact moment things went terribly wrong and birthed a century-long mystery. But what's actually happening out there today? Well, every single night, at exactly 12 o'clock, the mansion supposedly comes alive. People report these strange, completely unnatural lights shining out from the shattered windows. And even creepier, the faint, melodic singing voice of a young girl drifting right through the trees. These aren't just one-off isolated incidents. It is a nightly occurrence, and it leaves the locals absolutely terrified to even go near the property line. And honestly, the villagers are just too paralyzed by fear to uncover the truth. We're talking about grown adults here, people who have spent their entire lives living in the shadow of this dense forest, and they are utterly terrified of what's inside those walls. But, that collective fear creates a sort of vacuum. Because when the adults are too scared to look for the truth, well, someone else has to step up to the plate. And that brings us to Part 2, Arav's brave quest to seek the truth. We're shifting gears a bit here. Meet Arav. He's our brave 14-year-old lead investigator. While the adults in the village are basically cowering in their homes after dark, Arav and a tight-knit group of his friends make a really monumental decision. They decide to tackle the village's greatest fear head-on, to break this century-old cycle of terror. It's that classic awesome setup of youthful courage overriding deep-seated traditional fear, and it's what makes this whole mystery so fascinating to follow. Let's actually trace their physical journey into the dark here. Step 1, they've got to get past those broken windows where all those bizarre lights come from. Step 2, navigating through stubbornly locked doors that literally haven't been opened in decades. And Step 3, venturing down into these hidden, mysterious tunnels buried beneath the mansion. Seriously, ask yourself, would you have the guts to follow them down into the dark, rotting interior of this place? So, as Arav and his friends are creeping through these desolate hallways, they're just surrounded by environmental clues. They're walking past these creepy old paintings, the kind where the eyes just seem to follow you in the gloom. They run into those stubbornly locked doors, which forces them to take alternative, way more dangerous routes. And, of course, finding those hidden tunnels, that totally suggests this mansion was built with secrets in mind from day one. Every single detail screams that they are not alone in there. Now, we hit the real turning point. Part 3, Secrets of the Hidden Diary. All that bravery actually pays off. Deep inside the mansion's structure, they stumble upon something huge. A hidden diary. And this isn't just some random old book. This diary actually contains the dark, documented secrets of the very girl who vanished exactly 100 years ago. Suddenly, that timeline we looked at earlier, it becomes incredibly real and tangible. This diary is the absolute key to understanding why that eerie singing echoes through the forest every single night. Now, what's really interesting to look at here is this specific excerpt. Imagine opening up this ancient book and reading this scrawled on yellowing paper. The shadows here hold my voice and my secret. Wow. It definitely sends a chill right down your spine, doesn't it? It takes a 100-year-old clue and makes it feel intensely spooky and immediate. It confirms that whatever happened to her was tied directly to the exact same shadows Arav and his friends are standing in right at that moment. This whole situation creates a brilliant contrast. On one hand, you have the mansion's silence, this apparent quiet emptiness of a 200-year-old deserted structure during the daytime. But on the flip side, you have the diary's truth, the heavy, dark, and super tragic reality of what actually went down within those walls. The physical space might look empty, but the history is violently alive, just waiting to be unleashed. Which brings us to the climax of our explainer. Part 4, the Midnight Awakening. So the crucial point is this. As the kids are reading through the diary, time is slipping away, leading right up to 12 midnight. We established early on that this is the precise hour the mansion's eerie anomalies kick into gear. But now, Arav and his friends aren't just watching from the safety of the village like everyone else. They are standing right inside Ground Zero as the clock strikes 12. And as they get closer and closer to the truth hidden in that diary, the strange events escalate rapidly. It's like the mansion itself is actually reacting to their presence and their newfound knowledge. The strange lights suddenly flare up, unexpected twists intensify, and that faint singing, it grows louder. It is literally as if the house knows they've uncovered its 100-year-old secret, and it's aggressively coming alive all around them. And this brilliantly illustrates the true definition of suspense, the feeling of excited or anxious uncertainty about what may happen. That perfectly frames the intense, almost cinematic atmosphere these kids are experiencing right now. They are trapped in the middle of an escalating paranormal event, armed with nothing but an old diary and their own courage. The suspense is just palpable, mostly because we, just like Arav, have absolutely no idea what the mansion is going to do next, now that it's fully awakened. Which leaves us with one final, incredibly chilling question. Will Arav and his friends solve the mystery of the vanished girl? Or will they too become part of the Whispering Mansion forever? The ultimate stakes of this mystery literally couldn't be higher. It's a stark reminder of why some legends might be better left undisturbed, and a massive testament to the bravery required to seek the truth in the dark. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I'll leave you to ponder this. Would you have the courage to wait for the clock to strike 12?